I just saw La La Land. It was suggested to me by Ben Mankiewicz, and in the beginning, all they had was musicals, and I literally texted Ben in the middle of the movie saying, "You screwed me, big guy. This is nothing but a musical." Wrong again, Bob. It was a great movie. Nothing feels as good as a great movie. So I'm going to explain why, but I've got to say first, if you saw it, you know how obsessed the movie was with the color purple and LA and purple sunsets everywhere, purple sets galore. And I don't think you can quite see it behind me because of this camera, and I had to come inside to shoot because I couldn't get a live shot out there. There's a gorgeous purple sunset in LA right now outside. I mean, to watch that movie and come out to that, amazing. Okay, yeah, I'm soft, and for liking this movie this much, but I'll tell you why I did and why it was so great. Because the movie had soul. Somebody wrote that movie. Somebody felt that movie. That movie was like jazz. And funny enough, I don't like jazz, but by the end of the movie, I said, "You got me. I can't believe you got me to like jazz." I like the idea behind jazz. A friend of mine explained it to me a long time ago. He said music is a physical embodiment of your soul. And I thought, wow, I hadn't thought of it that way. And I'm not a musical guy. And there's a lot of reasons for me to not have liked this movie. But by the end, even the jazz got me. And I thought it was moving and it was touching and it was powerful. Because throughout the movie, everything they did was different. It was a human being making a choice. It wasn't a movie made out of a machine. It wasn't script Dr. X was brought in and then script Dr. Y came in after him. I don't know who wrote the movie. I'm not a movie expert, although I do play one on the internet. And I'm not the kind of guy to like the singing in a movie. I'm not the kind of guy to like a Ryan Gosling-like character. In some ways, you remember who Emma Stone was dating first if you watch the movie? This guy named Greg. I'm not giving anything away here. So I'm kind of like Greg. I don't tap dance in the streets. I don't sing. I can't sing. I can't play any instruments. I'm not going to, sweep you off your feet with any of that stuff. But it wasn't about the dancing. It wasn't about the music. It wasn't about the jazz. It was about the soul. You got a sense that somebody made this movie because they loved this movie, because they had something to say. They had something to tell. And so I have to be honest and say that I nearly teared up 5 different times in the movie, and they probably got me at the end with the last piano scene. Here's a sentence I thought Cenk would never say in his life. They got me at the end with the piano scene. That pregnant pause before Ryan Gosling plays in that last scene. Oh, it was so powerful. And throughout the movie, I was so proud of the movie makers for making interesting choices, for thinking, I wouldn't have done it that way, but I'm glad you didn't listen to me or anyone else and you did it your way. So, and it was a romance, even though, okay, now I don't want to give anything away. Okay, so I'll go back to saying that it was a feeling and that it was when by the way, quick aside, the most unrealistic part of the movie was not them floating away or any of the fantastical scenes that, again, normally in a movie I would hate. I hated it in Birdman. But here, it added to the magic. The most amazing and unbelievable part of the movie was that wherever they went in L.A., they would just pull up to the street and find parking. Okay, that doesn't happen in L.A. And finally, so let me get back to L.A. and why La La Land and L.A. are connected as is jazz and music and this movie and having soul. It's that it's true. This city is made of dreams. And people come here because they have dreams and they have hope. I've lived in so many different cities in the country, and I love America, and I've lived in New York and Philly and Baltimore and Washington and Miami and LA and New Jersey and all these places. But of all of them, LA is the best. And here's why. And I know a lot of people look down their nose at LA, oh, a bunch of fake snobs. And I get that. And other people that are in the art world look down on LA because, oh, please, I do declare, real art has happened in the 18th century in outside of Paris. Okay, yeah. That's dead art. Okay, this is real. This is alive. People are still making things that touch you in this city. Okay, and so when I lived in New York, you would see in the subway, you could almost see the people's souls being crushed in live motion. I'd sit in a subway and I'd see somebody coming back from a weary day of work, and I'd see them kind of implode on themselves. This look of anguish and just such great weariness. Whereas in LA, right or wrong, you look at the guy next to you or the woman next to you in traffic, and you're not going to believe this, especially because of the road rage in LA that we're famous for. No, 7, maybe 8 out of 10 times, you will see someone smiling. That's because they've got hope in their heart. And I know that some people look down on that. I don't. I love that hope in your heart. And so, in some ways, I related to this movie, again, not because I have a musical bone in my body, but because, in my own way, the talk show that we put together, The Young Turks, is, okay, I'm going to get way too schlocky here, but bear with me, that's who I am. That's my soul, and that's my hope. And as luck would have it, I came to LA and we started it over here. But I hope that what we do, and maybe this movie, puts a little hope in your heart and makes you feel like you too can do something special and different, and that you matter, because I think you do. So I think that's why La La Land was magical. And in the most unlikely circumstance, me liking a movie with musical, basically almost a musical with this many songs, with a guy who loves jazz as his hero, a guy I cannot relate to at all because I'm not anywhere near that cool, I wouldn't have imagined in a million years. And people say Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling are old school movie stars, and I think, yeah, but what does that mean? You know what it means? It means this. Go watch it and you'll see it. In the old days, people liked movie stars and TV stars because they had a better smile than the other guy, because largely everything was bland. Okay, so I'm not much into the history of entertainment, and that you'll judge me for, and some will, okay? And I know there were some great movies and shows back then. But if I was on TV with only 2 other channels on, if I didn't get 50% of the audience, I'd lose my mind. So I was never impressed by their smiles. And you look at Emma Stone here and you look at Ryan Gosling, I go, I get it. Those guys are movie stars because they are so damn likable. It's not that Emma Stone is the most attractive. It's not even that Ryan Gosling is the most attractive. Maybe Channing Tatum or Chris Pine are more attractive. But Ryan Gosling is funny. He is likable. He apparently cannot sing, but that's a different thing, and you'll excuse him for it. But go watch this movie. I think you'll love it. And more important than anything else, keep the hope in your heart. It makes all the difference. Trust me on that.